Hello, and welcome back to the Deep Dive, where we unpack complex topics to bring you the most vital insights. Today, we're diving into a topic incredibly pertinent to all of us in the medical field, especially within the demanding world of orthopedics. We're looking at the evolving landscape of surgical training, the foundational role of teaching, and, well, the invaluable power of mentorship. Our mission today is to explore how we can not only uphold, but truly elevate the standards of orthopedic education and practice, ensuring that future surgeons are not just competent, but truly excellent. We'll be looking at the current challenges, some innovative solutions, and the very blueprint for training in trauma and orthopedics here in the UK. Joining me to guide us through this critical conversation is an expert with a keen eye for synthesizing complex information and connecting the dots for us. Welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. To delve into these crucial aspects of medical professional development, one striking aspect really is how interconnected these concepts are. Teaching, mentoring, strategic training, they all weave together, don't they, for shaping our future consultants, making sure they're ready for the complexities of modern practice.
Wow, so the very root of doctor is teacher. That's powerful and perhaps, a forgotten origin. Let's unpack this foundational idea, the word doctor having its roots in Docere. Could you elaborate on this and maybe why this original teaching role feels, well, a bit sidelined in our current medical model?
Certainly. The term doctor actually originates from the Latin docere, which quite simply means to teach or to instruct. If we connect this to the bigger picture, it highlights that the original ethos of a physician wasn't just diagnosing and treating. Fundamentally, it was about educating their patients. This etymological root underscores a responsibility that, well, for many, has become a secondary consideration in modern healthcare. The emphasis was on sharing knowledge so the patient could understand their condition, participate actively in their healing.
A partnership, really.
Exactly. A partnership based on informed consent and shared responsibility right from the start. However, as we've seen, particularly in the current model, a significant challenge has emerged. What's sometimes called passive medicine.
Passive medicine.
Yes. Our healthcare systems, especially here in the UK, often operate under reimbursement structures that primarily pay physicians for the active diagnosis and treatment management, not necessarily for the time spent truly engaging, explaining conditions, discussing the rationale behind treatments.
Right, the metrics are different.
Precisely. This creates an implicit economic pressure. Physicians are often incentivized by volume, which can lead to shorter patient visits, leaving very little opportunity to truly educate. The consequence: patients often find themselves with almost no active role in their own healing process.
So they become passive recipients.
Effectively, yes. Passive recipients of care. They get a diagnosis, a prescription, a treatment plan maybe, but often without a deep understanding of the why or how. This can leave them feeling disempowered, detached from their own health journey. A stark contrast to that original Docere principle.
And it's systemic, you're saying, not just down to individual doctors being busy.
Oh, absolutely. It's a systemic issue, not a personal failing.
So if the system inadvertently promotes this passive medicine, what does this mean for patient empowerment, for their active role in managing their own health? And maybe more importantly, what's the cost of not embracing Docere for patients and for the NHS?
That's a truly important question. If we re-embrace the Docere principle like some institutions, Pasteur University for instance, describe for naturopathic physicians, it fundamentally shifts the balance of power. It really is about empowerment, giving patients the tools to understand and engage. When physicians proactively teach and instruct, they're not just imparting information, they're enabling patients to reclaim authority over their own bodies, their health decisions. This transformation is profound because an empowered patient becomes a savvier healthcare consumer.
They can navigate the system better?
Exactly. Better equipped to navigate the often complex medical system, understand treatment options, prevent mix-ups or misunderstandings, which, can lead to significant clinical errors if they're left unchecked. Beyond this, educated patients tend to have greater success in completing their prescribed treatments.
Right. Adherence improves.
Significantly. When they understand the rationale, the implications, the benefits, say, how consistently taking blood pressure medication reduces stroke risk, adherence improves. Some studies suggest adherence can drop by, well, as much as 30% if patients don't fully grasp why they're taking something. That's huge.
Huge impact.
They're more likely to commit to long-term health strategies, which can reduce hospital readmissions, ease the burden on the NHS, and they feel more confident managing their health day to day, crucial for chronic conditions or just maintaining wellness.
So it leads to more lasting change.
More permanent, positive changes in health behaviors and outcomes? Yes. It's not just about treating an illness. It's providing a robust prescription for self-responsibility, giving patients the tools and understanding to actively participate.
That shift from passive reception to active participation.
It's about fostering a partnership, and that benefits everyone involved, better patient outcomes, a more efficient healthcare system overall.
It sounds like both patient education and professional mentorship are about equipping individuals for long-term success. Let's delve into mentorship. It's a term I hear a lot, but often gets, well, conflated with coaching. Could you clarify the distinction? And why is mentorship so critical in healthcare today?
You've hit on a crucial point there. While both coaching and mentoring are incredibly valuable, they serve distinct purposes. Understanding that is key. Coaching, for instance, is typically more goal-oriented.
Right, specific targets.
Exactly. Tackling a specific issue, often in a confidential, safe space, to help someone achieve desired outcomes. Think of it as a focused intervention. Overcoming a hurdle, reaching a defined objective, often time-limited.
Like prepping for a presentation, perhaps?
Yes, maybe helping a junior surgeon refine public speaking for a conference, or improving time management in clinic. It's about a specific skill or problem. Mentoring, on the other hand, really aims for the bigger picture stuff. It's generally less structured, can extend for much longer periods, often years, evolving as the mentee's career progresses.
And more hierarchical.
Tends to be, yes. An experienced individual guiding someone more junior, a consultant guiding a registrar, for instance. Its primary focus is broader skill development, enhancing confidence across various aspects of professional life, providing insights into different ways of working beyond just a specific immediate goal. Mentors often share their own career paths, lessons learned, institutional knowledge, invaluable for navigating clinical practice, career progression, the NHS system. I remember early in my own career, a mentor pointed out something about hospital politics I'd completely missed, changed how I approach collaborative work.
Ah, that kind of insight.
Exactly. And crucially, a mentoring relationship is inherently mentee-led.
Meaning the mentee drives it.
Yes, the onus is on the mentee to actively engage, articulate their needs, extract the maximum value from the mentor's wisdom and experience. This makes it particularly critical in healthcare. That holistic, long-term guidance shapes not just a competent surgeon, but an excellent one.
That's a very clear distinction. So if the mentee is leading the relationship, how does one go about finding the right mentor, especially given the diverse needs of medical professionals, and what makes a mentoring relationship truly successful?
Choosing a mentor requires, first and foremost, clarity from the mentee. What do you want from that relationship? You need to ask, am I seeking development in a specific clinical area? Mastering a technique? Am I aiming for leadership skills? A clinical director role? Or am I more interested in understanding the broader NHS structure, working in multidisciplinary teams, maybe a system-wide role?
So knowing your own goals first.
Absolutely. Being clear on priorities helps find someone with the right skills, experience, network. And don't be afraid to think beyond your immediate specialty. Now, while it can be tempting to choose someone like-minded.
Comfort zone, maybe.
Exactly. But there's considerable value in embracing different approaches, different perspectives. A mentor who challenges your preconceptions offers a divergent viewpoint that can provide broader experiences, enhance your own approach.
But you still need rapport.
Oh, definitely. That must be balanced with establishing good rapport. Open, honest, sometimes vulnerable conversations are paramount for success. Without that trust and comfort, the guidance will be limited. You won't get that transformative insight.
And how about structure? Should it be formal?
Well, while mentoring is flexible, regular meetings, perhaps monthly, often work well. Maintains momentum, allows time for the mentee to act on things, for new challenges to emerge. The mentee should always think ahead. What do I want to discuss? What outcomes do I hope for from this session?
Taking ownership.
Yes. Taking responsibility for follow-up actions, reporting back on experiences, that's a vital part of the learning cycle.
Are there newer models of mentoring emerging?
Yes. It's also worth noting innovative approaches gaining traction. For instance, reverse mentoring.
Junior mentoring senior.
Precisely. Junior colleagues mentor senior leaders. It's proven particularly useful for identifying systemic barriers, for individuals from different ethnic backgrounds, for example, or helping senior staff understand new technologies, communication styles.
Fresh perspectives.
It brings fresh perspectives, helps leadership understand ground-level realities, fosters a more inclusive culture. Likewise, cross-organizational mentoring within integrated care systems. That helps build stronger relationships, understanding across partners.
Between trusts, for example.
Exactly. Offers detailed insights into challenges, opportunities, working methods of different organizations. Fosters collaboration, a holistic view. These models acknowledge that expertise flows in multiple directions, enriches everyone, strengthens the whole system.
Those innovative models sound incredibly promising, fostering a more dynamic learning environment. But what about potential downsides? Are there common pitfalls or challenges in mentoring relationships, and how can they be managed effectively?
Indeed. While the benefits are substantial, difficulties can arise if not carefully managed. One significant challenge: if a mentor is also senior in a line management role, involved in the mentee's assessment, future prospects.
Ah, the conflict of interest.
Right. It naturally inhibits open discussion. Trainees might fear revealing vulnerabilities could impact their progression, undermines the safe space needed. Imagine trying to discuss struggles with a surgical technique with the person deciding your next rotation. It's a tightrope.
Yeah, difficult.
Another potential pitfall: jealousy from colleagues. Perceiving it as favoritism, an unfair advantage, creates tension.
Hmm.
Gender differences can pose challenges too, sometimes leading to overprotection by the mentor, which can inadvertently encourage dependency, hinders independent growth.
So how do you manage these?
The key is often open awareness, frank
Mhm.
discussion right from the outset. This can sometimes be formalized through a mentorship contract.
A contract. Doesn't that make it too rigid?
It needs careful crafting, not to stifle the informal organic support, but it can define boundaries, clarify roles, set expectations, objectives. For example, stipulate the mentor won't be involved in direct assessment, or outlining appropriate discussion topics. But the informality is still key. It's a shared understanding, protecting both parties and the relationship's integrity.
Right.
Ultimately, effective mentoring needs commitment from the mentee, acceptance of challenge, recognition of realistic boundaries. It's a significant investment, time and energy from both, but yields substantial benefits individual and NHS-wide. As offers like McLeod noted in primary care mentorship, it aids stress reduction, helps professionals adapt to change.
Which is vital right now.
Absolutely. These benefits make navigating potential pitfalls worthwhile. A resilient, supported workforce provides better care, reduces burnout. That's a growing concern everywhere.
We've talked about the ideals of teaching and mentorship, but the reality of surgical training today, it's a complex web of challenges. Let's really drill down into the pressures facing our future orthopedic surgeons in the UK right now. What are the most pressing systemic issues impacting their development?
Okay, here's where it gets, well, really interesting. Surgical training, especially in the UK, faces crucial systemic challenges. So deeply entrenched, they're often described as a wicked issue.
A wicked issue.
Yes, as Daniel Ashmore details in his review. Ill-defined problems, no easy, singular solutions, where an intervention in one area often creates new problems elsewhere. The core dilemma: the demand for high-quality, comprehensive training, but delivered in a shorter duration than historically allowed.
Doing more with less time.
Essentially, yes. Creates immense pressure on the system, on trainees, impacts everything: operative exposure, work-life balance. One of the biggest impacts has been the European Working Time Directive, the EWTD,
Right, the 48-hour week.
implemented in healthcare here in 2009. Limited working hours to 48 per week, averaged over 6 months. Now, the intention was good: improve doctor well-being, reduce fatigue, enhance patient safety. But it fundamentally altered surgical training structure. Historically, trainees worked in a firm.
A dedicated team with one
That's it.
consultant.
Exactly. Part of a dedicated team, allocated consultant, caring solely for that consultant's patients. The EWTD necessitated a shift to shift-based rotas. Under this new model, trainees often care for patients of multiple consultants, profoundly detrimental to the trainer-trainee relationship.
And continuity of care.
And continuity of care, yes. Suddenly, a trainee might be with one consultant's patients one week, another's the next. Hard to build relationships, track progress. And this problem is exacerbated by more out-of-hours shifts, often purely for service provision, not dedicated training.
Just covering the gaps.
Pretty much. The Temple report in 2010, a year after EWTD, suggested training could be delivered in 48 hours.
But with conditions.
Yes, big conditions. Trainees not heavily involved in out-of-hours service, well-supervised, guaranteed access to learning opportunities. But in practice, the clash between service provision staffing hospitals, providing care, and dedicated protected training time, it remains an ongoing fierce debate.
And junior trainees feel it most.
Particularly affects junior trainees, yes. Learning opportunities often compromised by the relentless demands of service needs. It's a constant balancing act. Often training comes second,
Impacting hands-on experience.
directly impacting the hands-on surgical experience they gain.
It sounds like the EWTD, despite good intentions, created a real ripple effect. And beyond that, what other significant pressures are surgical trainees facing now?
Oh, the pressures extend beyond the EWTD. It's a complex web. The controversial junior doctor contract, imposed in 2016, is another major factor.
Right, that caused a lot of upset.
It did. While it introduced some welcome safeguards rota design, working hours, it also stipulated 16 compliance targets for rotas. This resulted in inflexibility that frequently impacts training opportunities. Trainees consistently report, you see it in the GMC national surveys, on Twitter with hashtag #MindTheRotaGapTraining is affected by rota gaps.
Staff shortages, basically.
Yes, and about half work beyond expected hours weekly. Consistently supported by JCST annual reports. So even with contractual safeguards, the reality often involves covering gaps, eating into precious training time, operative exposure.
And looking ahead, Brexit.
Brexit looms large, yes. The NHS workforce includes a significant proportion trained outside the UK. As many as 40% of surgeons got their primary medical qualification elsewhere in Europe.
40%, that's huge.
It is. There are genuine concerns. European doctors leaving post-Brexit could exacerbate these rota gaps, intensify the strain. There's debate about EU rulings on mobility, automatic qualification recognition. Could it slow the influx, make it harder for UK doctors to work abroad?
Uncertainty.
A lot of uncertainty. While established laws, 48-hour week, rest periods are in the contract and should remain, other legal rulings around EWTD could be revisited. The Royal College of Surgeons rightly called for protection of the workforce, education, training time, alongside increased NHS funding. It highlights how external political social factors profoundly shape the internal environment of surgical training.
Making it that complex strategic challenge you mentioned.
Exactly, needing systemic, not isolated solutions.
So, faced with these wicked issues, as you describe them, how do we apply strategic thinking to improve orthopedic training? It sounds like we need more than just quick fixes. A whole new mindset, perhaps.
Precisely. Strategic thinking, particularly in complex, resource-constrained environments like the NHS. It involves purposeful plans for the future, carefully accounting for all stakeholders' perspectives. It isn't just quick fixes. It's understanding the deep-seated nature of these challenges, orchestrating comprehensive, long-term solutions, like Mintzberg outlined.
Looking at the whole system.
Exactly. Not just isolated parts, understanding how they interact. If we apply classical frameworks, like a SWOT analysis, to surgical training, we see clear factors, strengths, the inherent need for future surgeons, clear competence requirements from the ICP curriculum, a resilient, dedicated workforce.
Okay.
But weaknesses are apparent too. Poor surgical exposure at junior levels, a tick-box mentality for assessments, detracting from real learning, and a fundamental lack of protected time for trainers to teach effectively.
Like asking a chef to train an apprentice without a dedicated kitchen.
That's a good analogy, yes. Or time to cook together. Looking externally, opportunities exist. New run-through programs offer earlier job security. The potential of an extended surgical team, EST, to ease service pressures.
But threats, too.
Formidable threats, yes. The unpredictable political climate. Increasing demand on NHS services, aging population, complex comorbidities, and recurring winter pressures leading to canceled elective lists. Prime training opportunities lost.
That's a comprehensive overview. What's the most surprising weakness or opportunity that emerged from that? What does that tell us about where our focus must be?
What often surprises people is the sheer weight of hidden costs for trainees. The pestle analysis looking at political, economic, social, technological, legal, environmental factors from NHS, patient, surgeon perspectives really brings this out.
Hidden costs.
Yes. From a surgeon's perspective, a significant economic and social concern. Exam fees running into thousands, mandatory courses costing hundreds each, plus travel, accommodation, often needing unpaid leave.
It adds up quickly.
It can easily reach £10,000, maybe £20,000 during training, a significant burden. Can deter talented individuals, force difficult financial situations. This hidden cost weakness isn't about skill, it's about systemic equity and access.
Right. But these frameworks, SWOT, PESTLE, they can be a bit vague.
Exactly. As Ashmore points out, they provide a useful overview but can be subjective. Long lists, broad terms, maybe not much substance for effective strategy. Surgical training is far too complex for that alone. Requires deeper validation, prioritization, understanding how factors interrelate, influence the wicked nature. A true strategic approach moves beyond listing issues to enacting meaningful systemic change, considering these interconnected elements.
Given that complexity, what are the three key problem areas where strategic interventions are most urgently needed? And what specific actionable suggestions arise from this strategic thinking?
Okay, based on a deeper analysis of these wicked issues, three critical areas demand strategic attention. Firstly, reinvigorating the trainer-trainee relationship.
Getting back to that core connection.
Yes, shift-based rotas mean trainers often don't know trainees well. Lack of consistent interaction reduces operative exposure. Strategic change. Restructure rotas to include elective blocks.
Dedicated training time.
Focused, training-heavy time with one consultant, free from on-call duties. Fosters consistent interactions. Crucial for rapport, understanding strengths, weaknesses, deeper learning. Also, the JCST ought to consider changing quality indicators from expectation to necessity for attending consultant-supervised sessions.
Making it mandatory.
Essentially. And critically, trainers need contractually protected time. For teaching, ISCP-focused training, appropriate remuneration. Recognize and incentivize their educational role. Without that, teaching always plays second fiddle to service.
It makes sense. What's the second area?
Secondly, strategically balancing training and service requirements. Rota gaps severely impact training. Force trainees to prioritize service over learning. The concept of the Extended Surgical Team, or EST, is a recommended viable alternative.
Made up of
Composed of surgical care practitioners, highly trained non-medical staff assisting in surgery, patient management, surgical first assistants supporting in theater, and physician associates providing medical care under supervision. This team could handle some routine service needs, post-op checks, minor procedures, discharge planning,
freeing up trainees.
potentially freeing surgical trainees for more dedicated complex training, and importantly, providing patient care continuity, a significant benefit. While initial concerns existed might dilute trainee exposure, the EST could be pragmatic. Alleviate service pressures without just increasing trainee numbers, which isn't always practical.
Has it been recommended?
The Royal College of Surgeons has recommended it, yes. Enhance service delivery while protecting training time.
Okay, and the third area?
Thirdly, refining competency-based training and assessment. Our time-limited training relies heavily on competency-based curricula, but workplace-based assessments, WBAs, often risk becoming mere tick box exercises.
It's lacking meaningful feedback.
Can offer limited useful feedback, yes. Create significant administrative burden for trainers and trainees. The assumption that just completing the required number of WBAs equals competence and confidence. That's a significant concern.
So better assessment tools.
The Royal College has suggested exploring refined tools, like entrustable professional activities. Focus on whether a trainee can be entrusted to perform a complex task independently, not just ticking skills.
The need to be careful.
Must be cautious not to oversaturate an already assessment-heavy system. The true purpose must always be ensuring actual competence and confidence in delivering high-quality care, not just procedural completion. These three areas, tackled strategically, offer the most promising paths forward.
It sounds like a truly multifaceted approach, moving beyond simple prescriptive solutions that haven't quite hit the mark. So if we apply that learner school mindset we talked about earlier, what's the first thing we need to learn from the past to move forward?
Absolutely. The current climate calls for dynamic, flexible, truly proactive changes, not top-down fixed instructions. The repeated surveys, reports, persistent challenges, EWTD effects, junior doctor contract complexities clearly show a prescriptive model hasn't been sufficient. This is precisely where the learner's school of thought, as Mintzberg described, becomes highly relevant, essential, I'd argue.
Explain that a bit more.
The learner school emphasizes that in complex, unpredictable environments, strategies should emerge through continuous learning and adaptation, not rigidly pre-planned. Think of a sports team constantly reviewing game footage, adjusting plays during the season, not just sticking to a preset playbook. Opponents' conditions change.
Right, you adapt as you go.
Exactly. That's how surgical training needs to evolve. Given repeated lessons from persistent challenges, we must continually evaluate past strategies, understand why they fell short, adapt our approach. Proactive learning is crucial, evolving methodologies before a full-blown crisis occurs.
So the system needs to be responsive.
Yes. Drawing insights from those on the ground, trainees, trainers, fostering a culture with strong feedback loops, where the organization can pivot, adjust course to real-time challenges, emerging trends, aligns with Mintzberg's strategy as perspective idea. The collective experience, perspective of trainees directly experiencing deficiencies and strengths is a powerful, indispensable driver for change
Building a learning organization.
that can constantly refine its approach to achieve its ultimate purpose, cultivating excellent surgeons.
That's a powerful analogy, constantly adapting, not just following a rigid plan. So with all these strategic considerations, let's delve into the blueprint itself, the ISCP Trauma and Orthopedic Surgery curriculum. This outlines the pathway to becoming a competent consultant. How does this curriculum aim to deliver excellence amidst the challenges we've discussed?
Okay, the purpose of the TNO curricula, laid out by ISCP, is unequivocally clear. Produce competent consultant surgeons, deliver excellent patient outcomes, be emergency safe for acute unselected take, develop special interests aligned with service needs.
Patient safety first.
Patient safety is the first priority. Embedded throughout safety-critical content, expected performance levels, stringent supervision requirements. But it goes beyond mere competence. Actively promotes excellence through high-level outcomes, tailored assessment, allows trainees to progress toward superior practice, building confidence alongside capability.
And it's based on recent reviews.
Yes, this new curriculum resulted from the SHAPE Training Review, GMC's Excellence by Design standards. It focuses on high-level outcomes, capabilities in practice, CSIPs, and generic professional capabilities, GPCs.
Explain those a bit. CSIPs and GPCs.
Think of a CSIP like managing an operating list. It's not just the technical skill of surgery, it's your generic professional capabilities, leadership, communication, professionalism, all coming together to effectively run that list, handle complications, manage the team.
So it's integrated.
Exactly. CSIPs describe the integrated professional tasks of a consultant, combining specific syllabus knowledge with broader GPCs. 5 shared CIPs include manages an outpatient clinic, manages an operating list, each underpinned by GPC domains like professional values, leadership. Ultimately, CIPs and GPFs form the complete picture, assessed via the Multiple Consultant Report, MCR, to gauge progression.
And the training pathway structure.
Structured into distinct phases. Phase 2, typically indicative 4 years, covers the full breadth of the specialty, 8 main areas, 6 anatomical hand wrist, shoulder, elbow, spine, hip, knee, foot, ankle, and 2 non-anatomical pediatric orthopedics, major trauma. Attachments usually 6 months, minimum 3 for flexibility. Ensures trainees are emergency-safe, foundational understanding before specializing.
Then they sit the exam.
After successful Phase 2 completion, yes, eligible for the Intercollegiate Specialty Board exam. Phase 3, indicative 2 years, deepens expertise in emergency general trauma, allows development of 2 special interest areas. The ultimate goal, by certification. Achieve Level 4V supervision in all CIPs. Act autonomously at Day 1 consultant level. Clearly define supervision level for each phase. Ensures they're truly ready.
That structure makes it very clear how they're trying to build a well-rounded surgeon. But how does the curriculum specifically ensure trainees get the necessary practical experience and foundational knowledge, especially given historical challenges with operative exposure, working hour limits?
The curriculum is meticulously designed for that, directly addressing those concerns. Mandates a rich breadth of experience. Firstly, it identifies critical conditions.
Life or limb threatening.
Exactly. Any condition where misdiagnosis or mismanagement could have devastating consequences. Trainees must be assessed individually on these, via case-based discussions, CBDs, structured case discussions, and clinical evaluation exercises, CEXs, observed patient interactions, to demonstrate Level 4 competent certification level by the end. Examples: compartment syndrome, neurovascular injuries, Cauda-Equina syndrome. Swift, accurate diagnosis is vital. Then there are index procedures, common but vitally important operations central to the specialty.
Core procedures.
Yes. Must demonstrate competence, assessed by procedure-based assessments, PBAs, to Level 4. Also required to track indicative numbers in their logbook. For instance, around 1,800 total operations by certification. 1,260 is for surgeon assisting or supervised.
So tracking exposure.
Includes medial joint arthroplasty, nerve decompression, various fracture fixations. While numbers alone don't imply competence, it ensures exposure to representative breadth. Sets the stage for deep learning.
And learning methods are varied.
Diverse learning methods, yes. Highly trainee-led and self-directed. Encourages study groups, journal clubs. Importantly, reflective practice.
Reflective practice.
Trainees rigorously explore complexities of their actions, successes, challenges to refine and improve, often documenting this, then learning from clinical practice, largely experiential, progressing from observation to assisting, supervised work, then independent management with supervisor access. Professionalized trainer directly observes supervises recommended 1 session per week early on. Mandatory surgical logbook records all operative experience, detailed snapshot.
What about formal courses?
Supplemented by formal learning situations, courses, teaching sessions, local, regional, national, mandated courses like ATLS for trauma outcomes, and increasingly simulation training. Patient-safe environment, develop technical skills, teamwork, decision-making in high-stakes scenarios, complex trauma, surgical emergency.
But it doesn't replace real practice.
Crucial to remember. It supplements, doesn't replace, supervised clinical practice. Provides a vital but complementary learning avenue, allows repetition, immediate feedback without patient risk.
That's a truly comprehensive approach to ensuring practical experience. So, with all these learning avenues, focus on capabilities. How is progress actually assessed? And critically, how is constructive feedback delivered to ensure continuous development, that shift from competence to excellence?
Right, the assessment framework is robust, multifaceted, designed for continuous development and, above all, patient safety. Combines the rigorous Intercollegiate Specialty Board, ISB examination, with comprehensive workplace-based assessments, WBAs.
And the cornerstone is?
The cornerstone of workplace assessment is the Multiple Consultant Report, MCR. Clinical supervisors, CSAs, make a global professional judgment on trainee performance across all CIPs and GPCs. They recommend a supervision level, level I, observe only, up to level V, beyond day one consultant.
When does this happen?
Conducted mid-placement, formative, and end of placement, contributing to the summative AES report. Provides structured in-person feedback, highlights excellence, areas needing development, gives a holistic view of readiness.
And the individual WBAs?
They offer more granular formative feedback for specific activities, CBDs for clinical judgment, CEXs for observing patient encounters, DOPS for basic procedures. MSF multi-source feedback gathers anonymous feedback from colleagues on teamwork, professional behaviors, and PBAs for evaluating advanced technical skills during surgery.
Are these mandatory?
Mandatory for specific critical conditions via CBD-CEX and index procedures via PBA. Crucial evidence for the annual review of competence progression, ARCP panel.
The ARCP panel.
Yes, they make the final decision on progression. High-stakes moment, all evidence reviewed. Trainees are also actively engaged via self-assessments, using the same MCR form.
Comparing their view with the supervisors.
Exactly. Encourages critical self-reflection. Allows comparison between perceived competence and CS feedback. This iterative process is formalized through learning agreements, start, midpoint, end of each placement. Ensures consistent objective setting, progress review, tailored action plans, as illustrated in curriculum flow diagrams.
What if there are discrepancies?
Discrepancies between self-assessment and supervisor ratings are actively explored. Addresses over or underconfidence. Vital for building realistic self-understanding.
And the big exam, the ISB.
The ISB examination, after successful Phase 2 completion, significant summative hurdle, rigorous 2-section test, knowledge, clinical skills at day 1 consultant level, computer-based SBA papers, detailed clinical oral interviews.
High standards.
Specific limits on attempts, timeframes. Underscores high standards for certification, entry onto specialist register. True test of accumulated knowledge, clinical acumen. This whole system, overseen by TPDs, AESs, CSs, all GMC recognized, provides comprehensive oversight, support. Ensures patient safety, robust trainee development into competent, confident orthopedic consultants.
This deep dive has truly shown us the intricate ecosystem of orthopedic training. Looking ahead, what does all this mean for the future orthopedic surgeon? How do we prepare them not just for today's challenges, but for an ever-evolving medical landscape, ensuring that shift from competence to genuine excellence?
Well, the primary measure of success is not just getting the CCT, the Certificate of Completion of Training. It's producing surgeons who are competent and confident, adaptable, delivering the highest quality care. The curriculum aims for this, but reality is complex. The emergence of post-CCT fellowships, sub-consultant roles, as Ashmore notes, shouldn't necessarily be viewed as inherent solutions.
There might be symptoms.
Often symptoms, yes. Potential gap in confidence, lack of desired breadth immediately post-certification, indicating need for further, maybe specialized development, highlights that formal training, rigorous as it is just one part of a lifelong journey.
Reaching day 1 level, but the journey continues.
Exactly. Indeed, we must fully embrace continuous learning throughout a surgeon's career. The curriculum itself explicitly acknowledges this. Medical knowledge isn't static. Constantly changes research, new evidence. So all T&O surgeons, like consultants, must regularly reflect, update, adapt their knowledge base throughout professional life.
Actively filling gaps.
Not just acknowledging gaps, but actively committing to filling them, using appropriate means, demonstrating self-awareness, humility, ongoing professional commitment. Reflective practice is central. Maintaining excellence, adapting to new techniques, technologies constantly emerging.
And this strategic thinking needs to start earlier.
Absolutely. Needs to extend far beyond current trainees.
Yeah.
Begins much earlier, right in medical school. Adequate exposure to anatomy, basic surgical skills, theater environment, often overlooked, yet incredibly impactful.
Poor early exposure puts people off.
Can significantly affect satisfaction with surgical teaching, critically influence whether they even apply for surgical training. If medical students don't get meaningful hands-on experience, see what a surgical career entails, they might opt elsewhere.
So we need a pipeline strategy.
Yeah. A truly holistic strategy for a future workforce must begin much earlier. Building a robust, well-informed pipeline. Igniting and nurturing passion from the first steps. Essentially, the learner school of thought we discussed. Not just tactical for current challenges, must become an enduring philosophy for the profession.
Constant learning and adaptation.
Continually learn from collective experiences, successes, failures. Dynamically adapt training methodologies. Meet changing patient demographics, evolving clinical environment, persistent demand for highest standards, especially in an increasingly complex, politically less stable world. The intended strategy is only realized if it proactively addresses current and future trainee needs through dynamic, flexible, continuously learning approaches. That forward-looking mindset is vital, ensuring orthopedic excellence for generations, ensuring every surgeon is not just competent, but truly exemplary.
What a truly illuminating deep dive into the heart of orthopedic training. We've journeyed from the ancient roots of Docere to the cutting edge of curriculum design, navigated those wicked issues, explored strategic pathways for excellence, the importance of the trainer-trainee relationship, the evolving role of the extended surgical team, continuous refinement of assessments, all underpinned by robust feedback and self-reflection, clearly paramount for cultivating the next generation of orthopedic consultants. Thank you for your profound insights and for helping us connect these crucial dots.
My pleasure. It does raise an important question for all of us, doesn't it? Beyond the formal training, how do we personally champion continuous mentorship and that doctor as teacher principle in our daily practice, ensuring a culture of constant growth and empowerment for our colleagues and for our patients?
Indeed. Something to mull over as we all strive for excellence. If you found this deep dive valuable, please do rate and share the show with your colleagues. For us, the enduring lesson is that surgical excellence isn't just technical skill, it's a deeply integrated system. Teaching, mentorship, strategic adaptation, constantly refined by critical thinking, commitment to lifelong learning. How will you contribute to shaping that future starting today? Join us next time on The Deep Dive.